What's how to pronounce your last name?
Mohanty.
Mohanty.
Yes.
So how to pronounce your whole name?
Abhipsha Mohanty.
Abhipsha Mohanty.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, this is It's Mental Comedy. Today I'm very very honored to have a fellow Indian female comedian here, Abhipsha Mohanty. Yeah.
Wow. You really killed my name. That was the best pronunciation ever.
Really?
No.
No.
I was just
Okay.
being sarcastic.
Okay. Could you please introduce you a bit?
So the correct pronunciation is Abhipsha Mohanty.
Abhipsha Mohanty.
Oh, that's not bad.
I can totally pronounce it.
Yeah. And I'm from India. I moved to Berlin a year ago and I'm super new to comedy and I'm fucked in the head.
How do you mean fuck up in head?
I am depressed, I think, but I have never, had any consultation or never saw a therapist. But I'm unable to sleep at night. I have all the symptoms, and I'm fucking sad about everything. But there's nothing I have done about it other than talking about it through my comedy. So yeah, pretty fucked up childhood and growing up in an Asian country, basically. Same sort of traumas.
It is. It's growing up in Asia is extremely traumatizing if you don't have a penis. I can advocate for that.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have a penis, go to Asia. You'll have a wonderful life. But if not, then stay here. Stay here. Be safe.
Yeah.
So you said you started comedy. When did you start comedy?
27th of January last year. So I got 6 months of stage time before everything shut down.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I only saw you, I think, in summer last year.
Yeah, me too. I mean, we haven't met. We have only met a couple of times during gigs, but lockdown.
The first time I saw her in comedy clubs, I was so mad. I was like, no, not the only one anymore. Fuck her. And then I saw you perform. I was like, okay, it's good. It's good to have someone who's good.
But then I heard your podcast, the one that you did with Dragosh, and I could relate to so much stuff that you say about Asian culture, and I was like, okay, maybe you're not so different. It's the same shit, basically.
Yeah. Actually, before the recording, we briefly talked a little bit. I have a strong feeling that she's an Indian copy of me. Just with more better software engineering skills.
That's true.
Yeah.
Did not go far from the stereotype. Probably that's why I'm doing comedy, so that not everyone, people say that no, not all Indians are software developers.
Yeah, sure. So when did you start to realize you have some issues mentally?
It started really young. I was getting bullied at school for not being very pretty. And then at home, how violence is so much glorified in our culture. It is super normal for parents to beat up their children for stupid, silly things. So I wasn't happy at school, I wasn't happy at home, and I used to get all these suicidal thoughts all the time. I realized it very young, and then when I turned 15, I left my parents' place and moved to a boarding school. That slightly made my situation better, but when you don't have an emotional support, it's still fucked up. I have got social skills. It is easy for me to make friends. It's really difficult for me to talk about things. I don't talk about my emotions or how I'm feeling neither to my parents nor to my friends. It's just it all started when I started doing the dark comedy specials for Dragosh. That's when I actually spoke about things that I was going through. Yeah, even right now I'm feeling a little weird talking about all this. So yeah, I definitely want to talk about it more through therapy and not only through my comedy. Yeah.
So before you found comedy, how did you deal with your emotions?
Did I ever deal with it? No. Just getting high or pretending to be happy and just numbing that side of me that okay, I'm thinking of all these things, I should do something to forget about it. So yeah, I basically didn't do anything about it, and I still can't sleep at night, and it's still fucked. A part of me will always be fucked.
I disagree about that. I think I thought about this a few years ago too, but I think there's other side of it. Like you never can get back your childhood. You can never relive that life. But I think lots of trauma can be cured over time, and you can also use it for your advantage.
Yeah.
For example, now knowing that what you've been through, and it is some bad circumstance, bad environment, bad culture, bad practice have made you suffer so much. By talking about it, you can help others. So over time, maybe you think once the pain is gone, you can see the bright side of it.
That's true. But in our culture, especially, like depression is not a topic that people talk about. Like mental illness means you're crazy, you're seeing a therapist, people are making fun of you. So nobody's comfortable about talking about their feelings. Like it's not a thing that you discuss your feelings with your parents or your friends. It just fun and games, but nobody talks how they're feeling.
I think I think most people I know in China, in their life, they probably have never talked about feelings. They just power through.
Depression is a lot like sex. Indian parents don't know their children are having it. That's the thing. People don't realize we have it.
I think the advantage of having some mental illness is that you are more sympathetic. Of course, you also can be a psychopath. That's another topic. But for example, I realized once I realized I have mental illness, people are more open to talk with me. They feel safe. They tell me all their dark secrets and sad childhood because I understand. But I also know people that when others talk about depression or whatever, they would say, why don't you just go talk with your parents, then you'll feel happy.
It's so weird for me when people say that they actually share things with their parents. I'm like, really? You talk to your parents?
I mean, I understand they talk with their parents. That means they have a happy family. Good for them. But the fact that they suggest it to you means that, they probably don't understand that for many people, they don't have the privilege to have a good family which can give you emotional support. And I think that's the kind of sympathy we have, that we wouldn't say naive things to hurt people even further.
Exactly. And to be honest, I've never had any confrontation with my parents, so it's just so fake. I talk to them every day. We just talk about regular things, that how are you, have you eaten, how many corona cases, what is the weather like. That's it. We never discuss feelings of all these things happened with me, this was wrong. I want to talk to them about it, but I'm just too afraid that I would hurt them. So we're all just pretending. It's just
what has happened to you?
Like my father is a very violent person. Although he's not an alcoholic, but I think it comes from again his childhood or something. So he's a very violent person. He used to beat me until I was 20 or something. And same with my sister, but then I kind of was very protective about my sister, so that stopped. However, like now he just talks to me like all these things did not happen. Like I was so fucking suicidal when I was in school. I was getting bullied at school, getting beaten by parents. What do I do? Where do I go? But we just never talk about it. He's just like, that was pretty normal. Because that's how...
Like when you were beaten at school, he told you it's normal.
Like even he's beating me up. Teachers are beating me up. Friends are bullying me. Like everything is fucking normal. Like how? Why are we not talking about it? Even now we don't talk about it. Like they think it is normal.
Yeah, it's true. Like for me, like I really can resonate with this. I was bullied a lot at school, and then when I was beaten almost to death at school, I go home talked with my mom. She said, why they only beat you?
Exactly. It is always your fault, your child's fault.
Mm.
Whatever. Plus, you're a woman, so whatever you do, it's your fucking fault.
Yeah, they were like, why you fight back?
Exactly.
Like,
Probably
you are a
didn't
girl,
behave-
why you fight back?
Yeah. It's always like all these things decided how women should behave in our society. Oh, it's so fucked. I don't see myself living in India ever again because of all these things. Yeah, women will always be second-class citizens in India, no matter what you achieve, unless you have a good marriage and a child and everything done before 30. You're never going to fulfill your parents' dreams.
Yeah, I do fear that like in China it's the same. They have a term called leftover girl.
Okay.
So it's basically like
That's us. Oh, I don't want to be a leftover girl.
you are. So basically, as long as you are like beyond 25 and not married, you are the leftover food on the table. Whoever wants can just take you. And the funny thing is that,
Oh man,
like,
that sounds horrible.
they don't allow you to date. They don't allow you to have a relationship. Like I remember the second year of university, they would say, oh, don't date anyone because anyway after graduation you go to different cities, it won't last, so don't waste your time to date anyone. Then as soon as you graduate from university, they ask you, why are you not married? Like, so lots of girls, they grow up being really, really separated from guys because from a very young age, they probably want you to be close with the other gender to make sure you are pure, you are innocent, you have good value. Until like you are 21 or 22, then they ask you to get married before 25. But you never have friends from the other gender. You don't know how to communicate with them. You don't know how to hang out with them. How can you so fast just get used to things and make friends, have close relationship and get married? And it end up with lots of marriage is not based on communication. And they just live in the same house, like not communicating at all. And this is like a vicious circle for more and more unhappy families.
That's how, I mean, we have the concept of arranged marriages, like your parents are your Tinder basically. And you just don't know this person, you get married. What if he turns out to be a shitty person? You just have to live with him forever because divorce is again a taboo in India. And so many people say that divorce rates are so low in India, but the reason is people don't want to get divorced because they would be treated as a bad person in society. Like women would always be, blamed.
But with the arranged marriage, can you actually like meet and talk and to have a communication before marriage?
This is a new concept. It is happening now. Like your parents find a guy, then you find them on Facebook or Instagram and talk to them for a while before you get married. So basically they pick a person that you have to fall in love with. You'll get a certain amount of time, like 6 months. Take 6 months, fall in love with this guy and get married. Again, it's shitty, but at least you're getting to know the person.
You know, actually, I grew up also have low self-esteem. Because your family don't love you, and you are not being cherished. You are not told that you are special. So your self-worth is so low. Then you watch so many like Bollywood movies, Hollywood movies, all about falling in love. Then you think your self-value comes from someone's love, and a man loves you. Then you can value something. And so I wanted this so much at a very young age. But because I wanted it so much, and I was a fat kid, so I got rejected all the time. Then I wanted more. So it's just a circle of rejection and self-hurting and harming. But I really, in China we also have this arranged marriage concept, like a blind date arranged by your family.
Oh, okay.
To be honest, if I could, I would. Because I wanted a family, I want a man so much. But in my case, I couldn't do it because, arranged marriage is all about the caste and social class. And in your case, your family are wealthy, well educated, so you can find someone who's like with a good background. But my family is like from the really city poor, like from the ghetto, and my mom is handicapped. So my family is like quite fucked. And also my mom is single. Then plus I'm a fat kid. I'm fat, and in Chinese sense I'm super fat, and I'm very short. Also I have dark skin. So everything combined.
Do you have dark skin?
Yeah, in
This is
Chinese
God,
sense.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like in Chinese, light skin means white, whiter than white people. And
these fucking beauty standards. Like
yeah.
in India, there's in school books. There's this picture of a white woman and a brown woman, and it's written "beautiful girl, ugly girl." That's how you learn. From your childhood, you learn that fair is beautiful, brown is ugly. So it's a fucking brown country. Why do you teach this in school?
Yeah, because they just, I don't know, they just want you to feel bad. Like in China, it's the same. We have a sentence. They say, if someone is fair, there's no way they can be ugly. So like girls, it's just the unrealistic beauty standards tortures the little girls, and we are so self-aware with our look.
Yeah.
And keep beating ourselves down while we could be reading, we could be writing music or whatever, having fun. But we were thinking about our looks so much. But we are not being able to reproductive for so many more years. Why we were thinking about something would only matter when you find a match when you are 20 years old. It doesn't make sense.
No wonder we all grew up with low self-esteem. And how do we cure that? Like, I keep dating all these fucked up toxic men because of my low self-esteem. Like it definitely has been better after I started doing stand-up, but I dated some really shitty men trying to, desperate for love, get loved and all that. And, why was I dating abusive alcoholics, for fuck's sake? It comes from my fucking low self-esteem.
Do you consider to go to see a therapy?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. I mean, I did not know it's free with public insurance. I always thought if it's public insurance, I have to pay a lot of money.
In Germany, you can the insurance covers your therapy cost, but not all therapies are covered by insurance. Okay. So that means if you have public insurance, it will take you a bit more time to find one who can take you. But eventually, if you find this therapist, you can go there with insurance covered costs. And also there's another regulation. If you keep getting rejected by therapists, if you get rejected 5 times and you put the proof to a public insurance company, then they will be obligated to cover your private therapist. So what you should do is that basically a Tinder approach. Write email to all the therapists there is, and write email to them. Say, could you please take me? Okay. And eventually you will get more than 5 rejection. Then you collect those rejection, send it to your public insurance, and then they will say, okay, because you clearly demonstrated there's difficulties for you to find a therapist, so we will cover your private therapy money.
Oh.
Yeah. Not many people know it, but now you know.
This has been a useful podcast.
Yeah. And like it's just so transformative to see a therapist.
Were you nervous about talking to another person about yourself? Like you bare your soul?
No, like I grew up as a lonely kid. Like I'm the only child. My mom never had attention for me because she was busy about like supporting the family. My father doesn't talk with me. I'm an outsider at school. I'm not loved by guys. So I'm just being lonely the whole time. Then finally there's someone sit there and have to listen me to talk. I just talk. It's
and
great.
She's not judging you, which is great.
I don't know. Sometimes I still think she judges me, but whatever.
Really?
I think maybe she judges me a bit, but also there's lots of things come from my own projection.
Okay. Yeah.
Because when you, for example, when yourself is judging yourself, and then you think everyone is judging you.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah.
But talking with therapy is really great. I think it's not only about sometimes it doesn't even matter about if the therapist themselves is good, but the fact that you sit there, you need to dealing with your emotions, you talk, it's good already.
Yeah. I mean, I barely talk about all these things. I did not talk about all the fucked up things that happened to me in my childhood until I started comedy. So I did talk about it to few close friends, but no, I'm still not opening myself up to people. I just don't feel comfortable.
I totally understand you. I think I just said like my family is fucked up and how poor they are and my mom is handicapped. I only be able to talk about it until maybe like 1 year after I start to do comedy.
Okay.
Because growing up in an environment, I feel so much shame. Like my mom spent all she can to put me into the good schools, and that means in my real life, in my actual life, people around me, they are all like labor workers, like poorest people in the society. I grew up in a sweatshop, and then on the other hand, I go to school where it's this middle class world, and everyone, their family are educated, have good jobs, and have both parents, and they financially very doing well. So every day I go to school, it's like a switch. It's like a different
different worlds.
Different world. But at that age, I didn't know, and I didn't know this is not normal, and no one told me. But I learned it very fast that I have to hide. I have to pretend I'm like them. Yeah. But over time, it just become a habit that I would not talk about my family. I would not share details to people.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I share some details, I can really fear the judgment, and people are shocked. What? Like they, and also China is a very homogeneous society. So anything different than the norm, it's your fault.
It's just Asian.
Yeah,
it is very Asian. Like.
But I'm so surprised though, because India is actually more diverse than China because of different religions.
Sure, it is. But I mean, to start with, like freedom of speech. Unlike China, it is a constitutional right of Indians.
Yeah.
But 3 weeks ago, this comedian was put in prison, and he still hasn't got bail because he spoke about, I mean, some Hindu gods or some shit like that. He joked about it. There is no fucking freedom of speech. It's just in the constitution, but it's not happening.
But can you, for example, I watch Veer Das.
Okay.
An amazing comedian. I love him.
Veer Das,
please invite me.
He's fun. He's so cool.
Yeah. Have you watched his for India?
Yes. The one he shot in 3 different places.
No. For India.
The one with the blue door thing. He spent 5,000 rupees only for the entire set, and he made that Netflix special. So fucking good.
Yes, so good. Like it's the kind of comedy I want to do, like to educate people your culture. And to make to share your memories with.
I think my favorite one from. Is Hassan Minhaj considered to be an Indian comedian? I mean, he's Indian American.
I think I like his Netflix special.
Homecoming King. Yeah. Oh, it was so relatable for me.
Yeah, because it's like a story. Like, but I think that's a good special. But I think he is not a great comedian as much as Veer Das.
Oh, really? You think so?
I think that one is a good one, but in general, I think Veer Das is way more smart.
Veer Das makes smart jokes. Yeah. I mean, Indian comedy is very new. The scene is 7-8 years old. When I was growing up, there was no concept of stand-up. I mean, there were some shows, but those were like, the kind of jokes you would share in a WhatsApp family group. That kind of jokes. Real stand-up started like 5-6 years ago, and it's still not seen as a good profession. Like my parents don't see me doing this professionally. They just see me doing this on side. They still think that I should be keeping my corporate job And
Of
this
course,
is
it's
just a
only
hobby.
1 year in.
Yeah, right now, of course, I have to have my day job. Plus, in order to get a permanent residence, I have to have a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not seen as a great profession, and usually art is not seen as a great profession. Only doctors and engineers in Indian and Asian societies.
Yeah.
All these fucking pressures of
I watched Three Idiots.
Oh, okay, you did?
I like 5 times.
So you basically know so much about Indian
it's
culture
very
already.
similar to China too. Like they don't care about your happiness. It's all about how big is the car, how big is the house, how much money you have. Everyone, the whole education is about making you the same.
Yeah.
And work for the system, like to become this materialistic trap,
Money-making device.
make everyone in it, and they don't care about individualistic.
I think that was my biggest culture shock. So many people here ask me, what do you want to become? Like, did you always want to become software developer? Say, oh, I don't know. Nobody ever asked me this question. What do I want to become? How did this software thing come to my head? I have no fucking clue. I think it was already imprinted in our heads that at 21 you graduate, then you do a corporate job, at 26 you get married. Like, everything is pre-decided. I did not want that. Probably that's why I fucked off from India. Also the fucking sexism. Yeah, I don't want to sound like a feminist bitch, but our fucking country, like, they don't treat women equally.
And also like because of the crime rate, like I when I was in India, like girls
Were you scared?
they don't feel safe. After sunset, there's no woman on the street.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't walk around on my own at 10 p.m. in India. Stuff would happen. Doesn't matter if it's a huge city or a fucking village. The law is not that strict. Like, there's so many fucking rape cases all the time in India, and nobody does anything about it. The law is not good enough.
I don't understand why there are so many rape when it's a religious
Because
country.
sex is a taboo in India. The people are sexually frustrated, and if you don't talk about sex openly, it's something like, oh, what is it? I want to find out. So
But
works
how
in a
about
negative way.
religion? Like why religious people rapists? Oh yeah, the priests they do that too. Yeah.
It's right there in the foundation. Yeah, people are religious, but that does not stop them from being curious about, oh, what is this thing? When you don't talk about sex openly, you get more curious about it.
Are you a virgin?
Are you kidding me? No, of course not.
But is it something big for you to admit that you are not a virgin?
For me, yeah, of course it is. I mean, I don't give a fuck, but my parents think I am a virgin. Yeah. It's just too unbelievable for them. Like I said, it is just like depression. They don't know that I have it. But yeah, I mean, it is in India, women have, when they do an arranged marriage thing, you expect your wife to be pure. So yeah, nobody expects you to be fucking around before.
Can you imagine yourself to date an Indian guy and marry an Indian guy?
No, I can't. I'm too progressive for India.
Is it something you changed after you come here, or it's something in you already before?
Yeah, it was even in India. I was dating this Italian guy and all that shit. So I have dated Indian guy. Like my last long-term relationship was with an Indian. But then, yeah, the usual toxic people. I was dating all these toxic guys, and even if they're happy that their girlfriend has a job and she's following her passion, doing her shit, they still want me to be very Indian, like cooking for you and doing all the chores and all that shit. So they have this image of a perfect, ideal Indian woman, which I don't think I can ever fulfill.
They are just like so entitled.
Yeah.
And why? Why should I cook for you just because you have a penis? Okay. Like we are equal, but they don't understand this.
Exactly. If I make more money than my boyfriend, then it's hurting his ego. He's not happy about it. But here, nobody gives a fuck.
Oh, my boyfriend loves that I make
Really?
more money. Then he's like, can you pay more?
Yeah. That's the thing about people here. They don't give a fuck.
Like I think it. I can understand, like, if there's some women, they are not educated, and there's then the man takes care of the career, the woman takes the care of the house.
Yeah.
I think it's fair. But how could it be fair? Like, we both earn the same amount of money, we both have a busy career life, but you feel I should do more than you do.
Exactly. Yeah.
How is it fair?
Yeah.
But I think in Asian countries, in China, many people don't understand it, and also the country. I don't know about India, but in China, they put such magnificent glass on women, and
just it's the same.
Say all the negative things about them, being so picky. Like, even my own mom, she has a daughter, and she's trying to fight my equality with the family so much. Also, she was trying to find her own equality because she's the smartest kid in the family, but she's the only, she has two brothers, and her father was saying she's not part of the family. She got pissed, and because she's a woman, she couldn't get the education, and then she raised me as if I have same rights as men, and she gave me education. She wants me to have the life she couldn't afford. She sent me abroad to get education in Europe, and then I'm the first person who ever been outside of China in the family. I'm the first person.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
I'm the first person who ever get a college level of education.
Oh, okay.
And I'm the first person who ever find a job in a corporate. And my mom asked my grandpa if he's proud of me. He said, "Why? She's a woman."
Oof. Ow.
He's like, "She's not my family. She's a woman. She's not my family. Why I should be proud?" And and my uncle said, "Yeah, why she needs education? She's a woman. She get married, so she's not part of family." So this kind of misogynistic is just so frustrating, and my mom is fighting for it for so many years. Then when she talk about other women, she's so fucking mean. My cousin. My cousin, both his parents are dead, and my cousin is his family is really fucked up, and he was not educated, and his family was so poor that he grew 8 centimeters taller when he was 28 years old, because he started to date his wife, okay. And he moved into his wife's family, and they give him good food. And when he was 28 years old, he grew to 180 centimeters from 172.
Shit.
That's how fucked up his family is. And his wife's family is really a friendly, really loving, and celebrate holidays together and do nice things together. Also educate him to be polite to his own family and visit them regularly. Then my mom says what? He said, "Oh, if your cousin, if his family is a little bit better, he wouldn't be matched with a girl like this. Not beautiful, not good looking, not so intelligent." I was like, what the fuck? What your cousin has besides a dick? What he has? He's so lucky to find a family who's so nice to him, and they love each other. The girl is his wife treated him with so much love and care. They're in such a loving relationship, and his life totally changed because for his own family, his dad still stole his money.
Wow.
His mom is really crazy, in mental hospitals, and they never had any emotional connection. It's really a fucked up family. He never enjoyed any care and love in life, and now he's with this wife, and the extended family make him so happy, and he grew 8 centimeters at the age of 28.
Oh,
And my mom still saying, "Oh, she's not good enough for
not a problem anymore.
Really?
But, yeah.
I mean, for your class, probably.
No, I mean, a lot of even, people with shitty professions can speak basic English, have basic education for 10 years and stuff like that. But a lot of people lack common sense because, like, oh my god, people are Islamophobic and they're so fucking religious that they're ready to kill for religion.
I think it's also
like
the
that.
propaganda, like they're brainwashed over in extended
And then
period.
they're poor. Like, there's a lot of poor people in India. So even if you're educated, there's lack of employment. You don't have the right job. It's like my pizza delivery guy in India has had a bachelor's degree in computer science, but he could not find a job.
I mean, how could he not be able to find a job as a software
There's
engineer?
too many software engineers in India.
Why not apply abroad?
You need money to come abroad.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I came on a job seeker visa. I had to show that I have 6,000 euros in my bank account.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money in Indian currency. So not everyone has the opportunity to do that.
Yeah. Those people, when you think you don't have privilege, you do.
Yeah, true. I mean, my parents are really educated. My mom and dad both are professors. But when my sister was born, my mom still wanted to keep her job, but my dad was like, well, don't I make enough money? Why do you want to work? Just sit home and take care of the kids.
And then she did it?
She did.
Wow.
She never got back to work.
Wow.
Yeah, she's so fucking educated. My dad and mom, they went to the same university, but she did not work. She listened to her husband, and in the end, they all expect the wives to listen to them. Shit like that.
But isn't it sad from her point of view?
It is very much sad. Like, what did she do with her degree? Like, what's the point of getting so much education when you didn't do shit in your life?
Like, you think really a Western way.
Yeah.
And how is it? Why is that? You just come to Europe for 1 year. How did you make the mental switch so fast?
I think I was like this way before, which is why I could not gel with people in India. I was too progressive.
How could you be so progressive?
Progressive?
Yeah. If you live in a society like that and you don't know better from your own family, how did you be so different?
Always watching too much TV, Western culture, and seeing what's going, like what my mom is going through. Like she always wanted to work. She wanted to be an independent woman, and she would cry about stuff, and she would share her feelings. No, this is wrong. She's just a human with a good education. She's from a good background. She should be able to chase her dreams and fulfill them. But she was never able to do it, and I was like, I'm never going to live this life. I'm never going to go through the shit that my mom had to go through.
When did you have this realization?
I knew it right from the start. Like, when there was so much violence at home, like my dad was beating me up, I was like, I don't want to ever have children, but if I ever do, I'm never going to put my children through this shit. In the same way, like my mom when she used to cry about not being able to do anything in her life, that I knew it from my childhood that I'm never going to deal with this shit. I would always do whatever I want to do and not listen to people.
When was that? How old were you?
I was 15. Yeah.
Wow.
That's when I left my parents' house.
Wow, that's really impressive at the age of 15.
Yeah.
Like, I really like, what's her name? I forgot. There's a girl, she escaped
Northern Korea?
North Korea.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
she made a speech, she said sympathy it's not, you don't have it by nature, it's something you have to learn.
Yeah.
And also like what's right and what's wrong you need to learn.
Yeah.
When you are in a very sick society, especially your parents are not giving you the right guideline, to be able to figure out what's right and what's wrong on your own at such a young age, that's really impressive.
I grew up religious, like they taught me to, religion, God is above everything and stuff like that. But when I left home, I was like, I don't think there's a God. Because, there's so much shit happening around. I did not believe, like until 15, I used to believe in God, but after that, no.
When you were beaten, did you try to talk with God?
Yeah, I mean, you have to believe in someone. Like things, I would say things were easy when I was a believer, but like you had someone that you go to all the time. But well, it did not improve my situation, so I stopped believing. Yeah.
And in India, with your mindset, was it easy to make friends?
Not at all. Not at all. Like, since I'm a very outgoing person, you know, it's easy to talk to me. I do have a lot of friends, but do I talk to them about how I feel? No, I don't think, because you know, I was different from everyone. Like, I was too progressive for India. They still want this, you know, nice Indian girl who's still a virgin and who, you know, talks a certain way, dresses a certain way. I was never gonna do that, so I can never marry an Indian guy. You know, so it was very difficult to make friends because you're always judged. Like, I smoke, which is a, you know, it's a bad thing for a woman to smoke in India. So people are always judging and talking things about you because you smoke. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, how can men smoke and be a nice guy, and when women smoke, she's a whore? Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, like this. I just feel like growing up in an environment like so misogynistic, you just forget, like people in India, they just don't understand what is fair, what is unfair. And there are so many burdens put on women for no reason. Like it's
The people in India still believe that women get raped because of the way they dress. Come on, grow up. And there's some Indian uncles, like old Indian uncles. I was watching this video where this guy says that, see, you can't clap with one hand. The woman must also be giving some vibe, which made the guy excited, and you know, he raped her. She must have done something. Why? Why are women always blamed? Like, why this victim blaming culture in India? Oh, it's horrible, horrible.
I was expecting a bit better in India. I don't know your culture, but I always think with religion there's a little bit of guideline in it, because in China they destroyed religion, so I think lots of issue come up because of that. But I didn't know with religions people can also be assholes.
I mean, there's so many religions that also, like, my parents are so fucking educated, but they're still slightly Islamophobic, I would say. A lot of people in India are Islamophobic. Like, people of my age, with the same educational background, with the same family background, are still Islamophobic. That's the thing. Like, you might have an education, but so many people lack common sense. There was this guy who was carrying beef. Like, beef was banned in India because Hindus don't eat beef.
Yeah.
And there was this guy who was carrying beef, and some Hindus murdered him in train. And same goes for Hindus and Muslims. Like, they're always killing each other and shit's happening. So I really can't say if religion is a good thing. It was meant to be a good thing, but then it's not anymore.
So wow, that's heavy.
Yeah.
And over time, how did you have any ways to deal with all the trauma you had?
Not really. I would say that I still haven't dealt with it. I'm still sleeping at 3 or 4 in the morning for the last 10 years, and you know, hiding my emotions.
For all the mental illness, the foundation is really try to sleep nicely, like at least 7 to 8 hours per night.
7 to 8 hours?
Yes.
Jesus.
And really highly recommend the book Why We Sleep. It's a book by Matthew Walker. He is a sleep scientist at Harvard University. He did lots of research about sleep. Turns out it's the foundation for human to be mentally healthy, because every night when you sleep, your brain does lots of things to reprocess the information to your emotions, for you to be easier to accept it, and also to restore your memory, and also to get rid of the toxic protein in your brain.
Okay.
And if you don't sleep enough, the protein just accumulates, and over time you have higher chance to get a dementia or Alzheimer.
Really?
Yeah. And so really like working on your sleep. And it's easy to say but hard to do, especially for some people who have years of insomnia. It's very hard to say, okay, I will sleep, and but it's hard. You can go to see a psychiatrist. They have this different types of medication for long-term purpose,
Okay.
non-addictive, non-toxic, and can help you to really get into a right sleep pattern. And once you can sleep nicely, in 1 week you become a new person.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think depression affects your comedy in a good way?
I think yes. I do feel that the most productive, the most good stuff I wrote when I was really depressed.
Okay.
Like when I get it out a little bit, like become mentally more stable, I also become less creative.
And does it make you nervous to talk about all these personal things in front of 100 strangers?
I think there's different type people with mental illness. There's people like you don't like to share.
Yeah.
But for me, I like to overshare.
Okay.
So for me, it's like finally free therapy. Listen to me. I've been ignored my whole life. Now is my chance. Listen to me.
I know how. That's exactly how I felt when I spoke about molestation. Like that joke bombed real hard.
What joke can you tell us?
It's super personal. I was talking about getting molested at a very young age, and it was a shitty joke. I knew that I'm not ready to do this joke, but I was like, no, I haven't spoken about it. I am going to talk about it now. Although it bombed, I was super nervous. I was sweating, and I couldn't sleep that night. But it was, that was the first time I felt validated. I was free. I spoke about it finally in front of all these strangers, so now I can talk about it openly.
Yeah.
Once you do it, you're just like, milestone achieved.
Then the shame gets away.
Yeah.
So you feel more free.
Yeah.
I really can resonate with that. I think I already talked about my parents, whatever. It's something I only start to feel comfortable to talk like around 2 years ago, because I was hiding for so long. And then there's another thing shamed me so much. So when I come to Europe to study, I was in Netherlands for my bachelor study. It was really hard because very expensive, and I was not really allowed to do any like job outside of the school. But then I illegally did some part-time job at massage salons, and then there are lots of perverts, and it's lots of drama, and it's something. As soon as I moved out of Holland, I never told anyone about this memory because it's so humiliating, because the environment is not right. They try to corrupt you, and I did so many effort to not make myself to be part of that thing. But every time when people think, when they think about a massage, they think about something nasty, and they make this kind of joke. And for me, it's such a insult, because I tried so much. Like I really, really used all my energy to stay not corrupted, stay with my principle, and then you make these kind of nasty jokes. So I decided never talk about it. But I think around 6 months ago, I went to a comedy workshop. We on stage we had an assignment to describe a weird job experience we had, and I act out the massage shop job.
Oh, that's cool.
And then I realized, for 10 years I was never able to admit I did a job like this, and now comedy helped me to just open it.
Yeah.
I feel free.
Yeah, me too. Like I do this joke about my father saying that like so many men want me to call them daddy in bed, but unless you slap me on my face for not scoring an A in maths, I don't feel it. I will only call you daddy if you don't love me back, no matter how hard I try. This joke has always worked, but there's pain in this joke. but I can feel it word by word. People are just laughing, and I'm like, oh, this is all true. This is my childhood.
But it's good. Now
It's liberating. Yeah.
You can at least say it out loud that what happened to you.
Even with the molestation, I say that I'm so good at sex because I started out very young. Oh man, that joke has bombed so many times, and I'm not ready for this joke. I need to write a better premise.
Yeah.
But I still got it out in the open, so it was a milestone, like a personal milestone. Where, I can talk about it now.
I was really quite annoyed when I first saw you because you took away my market. Before you, there's no like a real Asian comedian, a female comedian, and there's two other girls, but they grew up in the West. So I'm the only female Asian comedian actually from Asia, and there's no Indian female comedian. So Indians treat me as they are also my fan base. Okay. And now you took away half of 80% of my fan base because actually Chinese people don't watch comedy because they are full of sense of humor. So and then you take away my fan base. I was like Then I watch what you do. I was like, oh, she's funny and she's fucked up. I like it.
That's a common base. We are equally fucked up.
Yeah. I think like we are fucked up in different ways.
Yeah.
But you is like violence, domestic violence.
Yeah.
For me, it's the shame, like being poor and discrimination. But together we have. The discrimination for women, and we have low self-esteem. We have issues for intimacy. Yeah, I think you are Indian copy of me. By that logic, you should earn less money than I do.
Oh.
But you do earn more money because you are software engineer.
One good thing came out of my parents forcing me to take up engineering. Although they wanted me to take up medicine, but I was not good enough.
But the engineer is already second best option.
Yeah, those are the two options basically.
So how did you start to do comedy?
Well, I was only 2 months old in Berlin. I moved here last year in October, and in December I went to Laughing Spree just by myself. And I saw Dragos.
Not last year, the year before last year, right?
Yeah, I mean 2019.
Yeah.
2019.
2020 did happen. It happened. It happened.
Not counted. Nothing happened. So I went to Laughing Spree 2 times, and I saw Dragos and Chris, and I was like, oh my god, they're talking so much personal shit. I want to be this guy. Like, Dragos is the reason I started comedy. I saw him and I was like, oh my god, I want to be that guy. He's so fucking cool. And he would just ask people, where are you from? And then he would just say some stereotype, and people would be like, oh, this is so funny. I'm like, oh, okay, I want to do that. This is funny. And slowly I started talking more and more personal shit, and personal jokes are usually, they hit hard. People can relate to it, but they are not sure if they should laugh at it. We're normalizing dark comedy. Oh, this is so good. Comedy is the best thing ever. The best thing that has happened to me.
Did you know comedy? Like, did you watch comedy before that?
I mean, I did watch a few Indian comedians. I knew Veer Das, I knew Bill Burr, I knew Dave Chappelle. But I wasn't into comedy. Like, I didn't know anything, to be fair. Like, comedy in India is so new. So you just watch a few YouTube clips, but you never get into it. I never saw myself getting into comedy or doing shit. But when I saw Dragos, he was the first real comedian that I saw in my life. So I was like, oh, this really sounds cool. I want to do this. But before doing that, I was watching this documentary on Prime. It is about Just for Laughs. And there was this female comedian who was in an abusive relationship. She goes to the stage and she talks about her abusive alcoholic boyfriend, and she said he was too drunk to land a punch. I was like, oh my god, that is so personal, and people can do all this shit on stage. It's free therapy, why not? That's why I started comedy, just to be able to talk about things that I've never spoken about.
That's really great. Besides do you see yourself any change due to this?
Definitely massive improvement in my self-esteem. It was extremely low. Now it's just I'm happy. Like after 28 years of my life, I can finally say that I am happy. Like I'm doing so much better than I was doing before. Like I'm still fucked in the head. I still have the issues that I haven't dealt with, but at least I'm doing something about it now. After so many years.
That's really great.
Yeah.
And do you have like some dark period you just feel you cannot get out of bed, feel really horrible, having a bad day?
Sure. I mean, I'm never getting my childhood back. It was so fucked up. It was so fucking. I'm jealous of kids who have nice parents and everything.
Yeah.
Like I hear people talk to their mom for like 1 hour. Like my calls with my parents last for like 11 seconds, 21 seconds. Just weather, corona cases. How are you doing? I would say I'm fine. Like every day the same shit. And people talk to their parents for hours and discuss things. And wow. I'm a little jealous. Like, I want to be loved. I want to, have that emotional support system, but I can never have it. I know that.
I understand the feeling. Like there's an inner child of you.
Yeah.
You feel she never be able to grow up because she will be forever lack of the love and care and attention.
I'm never getting that in my life. Like love of your parents or your friends, or to be. Liked at school, just having a normal childhood.
I actually have a nice story. I know a girl back in China. Okay. She had the same feeling, and one day she realized, like the little girl in her was not treated nicely, was hopeless, helpless. But now she's a grown up. She can treat that girl. So what she did is she started to revisit her childhood memories. For example, get the textbook from childhood and just do it like the child, and just treat the girl nicely and make her feel secured and loved. So you can be your own parent.
I know. It sounds nice, but it takes a lot of courage to think about all these things, all the shit that happened to you. Also, my relationship choices. Me dating toxic people and just ruining myself in the course of healing others. I don't know why I do this. Like, it is because of the fucking low self-esteem. I date all these toxic people, heal them, and feel good about myself.
You want to cure them. Like you just anyone who's in trouble in life, you just want to throw yourself in and help them. So you feel, oh my god, I am useful. I have a purpose in life.
Exactly.
That's exactly like me.
When you have never been validated in your life, it gives a sense of validation. Do this.
But it's a long way to go. But at least now you know your issue.
I've started. Yes.
Yes. You work on your sleep issue. You go to look for therapists. And they will become you talk more on stage. You'll be okay in some years.
Okay.
It's a long journey. You cannot expect that you go to see a therapy once and everything is solved. It's a long years of journey, but during every step you feel better than previously.
When I see other comedians and realize that they're equally fucked up, there's no sense of shame. Like, I think that's why I want to be friends with comedians, because you can relate. You have a common factor. You're all fucked in the head. So there's no shame. You're fucked.
That's really nice, because I think talking with comedian really helps with the shame part, because before I had comedy, I only hung out with people who's in corporate world and in the university. They are all the same. I studied business. So it's a bunch of people who don't have a dream, who don't have any individualistic mind. They just want money. They go to business school. They graduate. They find a good job. They buy a car. They get a big house. They get married, and they are bored with life. Then they get a child. So it's very hard to tell those people that, I don't like my job. I feel suicidal and my life is a mess. They are like, I want to buy a 2,000 euro bag. So it's like you are not talking on the same level. But with comedians,
they're just real people. Like, comedians are totally honest. I mean, I like how they look so cute and nice and happy and harmless. But in the inside, they're all fucked up.
I think it's I don't think like all comedians are fucked up, but I think most people are fucked up in a way, especially our current society. Many people they raise in the way they don't have any real dreams, but follow this materialistic life.
Yeah.
But the comedians are like they are those people who admit this is something wrong, and when we are all together, there's a strength in numbers. We feel safe to admit the shame or the pain normally people would hide. I think comedians are just those people who's willing to talk. But I think miserable people are everywhere.
Yeah, it's just easy to talk to comedians.
Yeah.
So we understand how what the other person is going through.
Yeah. So you think you continue to do comedy?
Oh, definitely. Now this is a serious career choice. I have to have my job for staying in this country, but eventually I'm gonna take this professionally.
Do you plan to go back to India to do comedy?
No, never. In India, there's no freedom of speech, so there's no point in doing comedy. Like you do just basic material and flight jokes or stupid shit like that.
So you want to stay in Europe?
Yeah.
And to eventually be professional comedian.
Yes.
Oh, cool. Maybe we can tour together.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, Asian power. we cover the audience of 1/3 of the world.
Yeah, exactly. We can have a huge fan base.
Yeah.
1.3 billion people, Jesus Christ.
1.3 billion people too. This is at least 35% of the world population.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Really?
We should do that.
When will you want to do that? Where is your timeline to do it professionally? Do you have a goal?
Yeah, in the next 3 years I would, I've just had 6 months of stage time. So in the next 3 years I'm expecting me to be comfortable with silence, because right now I'm not at all. People now they do all this storytelling, and in the end they give a punchline. I can never do that. I'm still not comfortable with it. For me, it is very important to hear laughter every 20 seconds. I just do this punchy jokes.
Self-esteem issue.
Yeah, I have to hear those laughter there. I need validation. Please give that to me.
Dave Chappelle, sometimes he for 1 minute, 2 minutes, there's no joke.
Yeah. Oh God. He's a fucking legend.
He just confident of what he does.
I find him a little intimidating. I'm a little scared of him. If I see him on stage, he demands attention. I wouldn't dare to look at my phone or do other shit when he's talking. He has that commanding voice. Yeah. I don't think I have all that now. So in the next 3 years, I'm going to develop some skills and know comedy, know the science behind comedy, because I don't know shit. But yeah, let's tour.
Do you ever read comedy books?
Yeah, I read this book about what's the book called? It's right there. Serious Guide to Joke Writing.
Okay, that's a good one.
It is a good one. I wouldn't say that it helped me write my jokes, but it was a nice insight to know how channeling your thought process, how to think of a joke, read a newspaper and pick jokes from there.
Yeah. I really recommend to read comedy books, especially we're outside of this comedy culture. Lots of books, they give you different examples and different names, then you can check the classics. Because we didn't grow up in this culture, we don't know what is classic. And it's really nice to inform ourselves.
It's so weird for me when I see a 15-year-old doing stand-up, 18-year-old doing stand-up. People in New York, I met this guy who's 18 and he's doing stand-up. What? At 18, I did not know what fucking stand-up is. You're so fucking lucky and you have other career choices.
I think Dave Chappelle started 13 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's my favorite special. Equanimity and Bird Revelation. Oh, that was so good. That was so fucking good.
So that's your favorite comedy special?
Yeah. Also, Eddie Murphy's was also really nice. But last year's favorite was definitely Mark Norman. Out to Lunch. That was my favorite special.
What's it about?
Out to Lunch. It was just a bunch of pedophilia jokes and stuff like that. But Mark Norman is so cool. He's my favorite comedian. Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. I will write it on the screen so the audience know what exactly we are talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. It's super nice to have you on the podcast.
Same here.
And very happy
Pleasure.
you opened to us and to the audience.
Thank you so much. This was good. Free therapy again. Woohoo!
Yeah. Yeah, so I hope audience, if you have a sleeping issue, please go to see a psychiatrist, get some
and
medication.
don't drink coffee after 5 p.m. she said.
No, don't drink coffee after noon.
Oh my god.
It's bad for you.
Okay.
And I hope you sleep nice, do regular exercise and eat healthily and having a healthy life. See you next episode. Love you guys. Bye bye.